indeed in the mountains of the Jura, and then of course that fantastic Vuelta with Michael Storer, where he didn't win just one stage, which was a big dream of his, but two.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive indeed.
And he won the King of the Mountains jersey as well.
He did, just for good measure, No, that was yeah, quite an astonishing run of form for the young rider. He's now moved across. I think it was it's fair to say it was a little bit of a surprise move away from Team DSM to Groupama FDJ, and such is the talent of Storer, the potential of Storer, and such is the belief that Marc Medio and the team have put in him. He will be riding the Tour de France this year, along with Thibaut Pinot and David Gaudu. So they have a lot of options, and we'll certainly it's going to be intriguing to see how that plays out. But this is good. Look, Martin is actually moving away now on these steeper slopes. Tim Wellens, really interesting. Think back to the interview yesterday, Jose, about Tim Wellens not panicking on the climb, on the lowest slope, on the steep sections. He just has to knock it back a little bit. He's also got to, there's a long descent which flattens before the little couple of bridges before the finish here. What he's not going to do, what's dangerous is if you start panicking. But I think he needs to keep his teammates around him, as many as he can, almost accept you're going to lose a little bit of time, regroup, and then bring them back over the top. But this is making for intriguing racing here. Martin is looking very strong.
Yeah, we're trying to watch on all parts, of course, the peloton, the riders in between, and also our breakaway, the first group with a very strong Michael Storer, Thibaut Pinot, and also Alexis Viermos. This is with number 4, Amon El Sabir. He still has Bauke Mollema with him. Mollema is 4th in the GC, also with number 73. Chris Hamilton is there with number 14, Aurélien Paré-Peintre, and struggling at the back of the peloton, or actually what's left of it, because it's no more than 12 riders at the moment, is the best young rider, Andreas Kroon, the Danish rider of Lotto Soudal. But look at this, Thibaut Pinot is in for a little fun today.
He's enjoying this, isn't he? Working well. Really, he's such an aggressive rider, and these sorts of short courses they can provide the catalyst for some exceptionally aggressive racing. Riders have fresher legs, there's less time to react to things. It is, I really do like these short stages. Quite often the riders don't like riding them, that they do provide for us exceptionally good entertainment. There's a lot of pressure, as I said, being applied here. Martin looks pretty confident there, doesn't he? Really smooth rhythm, just taking that racing line, just shaving off a couple of meters by riding pretty much a straight line through these twists and turns, and dropping everybody in the process. And his rate that he's moving now, 24 seconds it is, it does look like he's closing in on the 3 riders out in front, and that will make quite a formidable quartet who I do think will all work together.
Yes, and yeah, we don't have any bonus seconds on the finish line, so you have to do it and just gain the time. This is the first group with Storer, Pinot, and Alexis Viermos. Last year he had this pretty horrific crash in the Tour de Suisse, broke his pelvis there, and that kept him out of the peloton for over 10, not months, but yeah, I think it was months. I think he didn't race after that anymore. A broken pelvis, of course, is a terrible thing. He did race in October, just 4 races, but he was out for 4 months.
Yeah, I have suffered a broken pelvis, and I can testify in a bike race. I can test. It's not like if you break your arm or your collarbone, you can actually ride the home trainer quite quickly and keep some condition before you can move out onto the road. But depending on how you break your pelvis, you can't actually put any pressure on your perineum area. You can't carry any weight on it. You have to wait till it's healed up, so you do lose a lot of condition quite quickly. But it's looking good at the moment. 19 seconds it is to that group behind.
And of course, gaps are really, really small. The top of this climb is, this is another stage I have in front of me. Get my papers in order. 32.4 kilometers from the finish line, meaning we're halfway the climb, still 3 kilometers to go. Then, as you described, Matt, a very long descent and one little climb at about 7 kilometers out from the finish line, the Côte de Nice. It's not categorized, you don't get any points, but it will be a fantastic opportunity to launch an attack if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just before that as well, about 3 kilometers before the Col de Nice.
What is happening here? There is Nairo Quintana. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Quintana doesn't want to wait. He says, well, there is one man in front of me, and he threatens my second position and possible win here. So piloted there by Nicolas Edet, who dropped back from that breakaway. Attack by Nairo, Quintana. And just looking at Lotto Soudal there, they didn't have any reaction.
I don't think they get. This is what Wellens and Nairo Quintana are. Very, very different riders. Both can climb well, but one's a pure climber, one's more of a rouleur. And he knows his capabilities. He also knows his limitations. And trying to put yourself into the red by reacting to a move by a far lighter rider on a gradient like this is dangerous. And that just shows the maturity. That's not. I can't kind of follow him. I guess he could follow him, but if you did, you would immediately capitulate and lose some more time, as we see Thibaut Pinot now go on the offensive. This is all about going for the stage win. Not happy to tow Alexis Villermoz along, so Villermoz is now going to chase. Michael Storer can sit on, and it could be a situation where they want to get rid of the man from Total Energies, because Villermoz is really quick at the finish. He's got a right little kick on him as well. But meanwhile, we've got another story unfolding as Martin also tries to bridge across the gap.
Things happening everywhere on the course today. We've seen multiple attacks here on the Côte de Saint-Roch. Still leading is, well, actually Thibaut Pinot. He is 34th in the GC, so that is not a factor to take in. But of course, he would like that stage win. But he's there with his teammate Michael Storer. But following him with number 51 is Nairo Quintana. And just like yesterday on the Col d'Azur, Guillaume Martin is trying to hold on to that rear wheel of Quintana. Yesterday he didn't succeed. Let's see what Guillaume Martin can do today.
Well, he's working with him. You see that Quintana just looking around to see how Nicolas Edet was riding. That was great. We talked about it earlier on, didn't we? Edet in the breakaway, knowing that they'd try something on the climb. But look at this now. The yellow jersey has been forced to go to the front. It's got Bauke Mollema on his wheel. Mollema won't do anything at all. Gabriel Jabir is the rider in third wheel, just out of the saddle. But Tim Wellens now is riding to try and defend the lead in this race. But again, he's going to have to work on his own. He's isolated, completely and utterly isolated. I think his teammate, who's in the white jersey, Andreas Kron, is now being dropped. They're heading towards the top of this climb, comes in around a kilometre. But these two riders, Quintana and Martin, will work together. And they are bridging across to the two riders just down in front.
And those are Storer and Villermoz. And just ahead of those two, we still have Thibaut Pinot. Also in that group with Tim Wellens is the man in pink, James Shaw. He is, of course, in the top 10 of the GC. Currently 1 minute and 32 seconds down. We have Mollema, we have Gebre Sabir, we have Valentin Madouas there for Groupama FDG. Also with number 27, with number 17, looks like Larry Warbest there as well for AG2R. He's been on the attack already in the earlier kilometers of this stage. And also in that group is a young Dane, a young Norwegian rider, Magnus Brinsrud of the UNO-X team.
Yeah, it's an interesting composition, isn't it? Here we go. This is Quintana just about to bridge across to Storer in his slipstream. Martin Villermoz is the rider just on the front. So you're going to have one rider out in front. You can just see him at the top there. He's given us a gap of 18 seconds, but the pace that Quintana is romping up this climb. And Wellens actually attacks this group here. Puts a really big surge in. Wellens, look at the face of him, determined to try and limit his losses over the top. But the big question is, Jose, will the other riders in this group help him? The only allies I can see potentially will be Bauke Mollema and Emmanuel Gabriel-Jabir, both defending 6th and 4th respectively.
Well, we have Quintana, Guillaume Martin, Alexis Villermoz and Michael Storer in pursuit of Thibaut Pinot, who's just one corner ahead of him. It's been almost 3 years for Thibaut Pinot since he won a bike race. That was the Tour de France stage. So he will be eager after, well, basically 2 years of bad luck and crashes and injuries, and just also not feeling too happy mentally. He will be on his... he will want to win a race, but if it's up to Quintana, he's not going to succeed.
Yep, well, he's at the back, though. He's got Storer, who's just going to sit on. So that's going to nullify this chase a little bit, but of course Villermoz